As I may have said before, I have a degree in Russian studies, history, politics, language, конечно, and also misinformation and propaganda. Conspiracy theories are extremely Russian. They will always do exactly what Russia has always been attempting to do. Russia's most valuable export is misinformation and propaganda. Russia doesn't have that large of an economy, certainly nothing compared to the United States. Their gross domestic product is below Brazil's and one step up from South Korea's. They, the most, for themselves, the most valuable asset they have is the people working on misinformation and propaganda to work always three things. And this is what a conspiracy theory always does. It builds confusion. Conspiracy theories are always wacko and way out there. It builds division because you have the people who view themselves as the initiated. They know about the space lizards or the lizards who live in the middle of the world or whatever it is, and other people don't. So they are not of the uninitiated masses, and they are always building lack of trust in that country's own government, whatever country it is. Russia is working to undermine the people's trust in any democracy all around the world. But of course, the United States is most important because we're the largest and most prosperous democracy. So those are the three things that Russian propaganda is always working toward. When you see people's ideas working for confusion, division, and lack of trust in that country's own government, in our own government, then you can be pretty sure that whatever the ideas are, they will be promulgated. They will be multiplied by Russian bots as much as possible. The other advantage to a conspiracy theory is that it cannot be proven to be wrong. By logic, you cannot prove a conspiracy theory wrong. All you can say is there is no evidence. A simple example that people often bring up is there is an invisible elf in my garage. No, there isn't. There is no. Yes, there is. There is an invisible elf in my garage. You cannot prove me wrong. All you can say is you have no evidence to show that there is an invisible elf in your garage. Prove me wrong. You cannot prove that I am wrong. The elf is invisible. He's in my garage. I believe it to be true, and it is true. And the only reason you don't know more about it is that the government is pulling the wool over your eyes, and you don't know about the invisible elf in my garage. You don't know about the lizard people who live in the middle of the world. Government's keeping that information from you. You cannot trust your government. Prove to me I am wrong. You cannot prove a negative. You cannot disprove, pardon me. You cannot prove a negative. You can only say there is no evidence for alien lizards in the middle of the world. There is no evidence for an invisible elf in my garage. But you cannot disprove it. You cannot prove a negative regarding an Eberl. But here's something that just occurred to me today. If a conspiracy theory poses something, as old Tucker what's-his-face on Fox News, by the way, Fox News is requiring all of its people to get a vaccination. Sometimes I think that all these talking heads on Fox News, they don't believe a word they're saying. They think of themselves, they justify themselves as entertainers. They're entertainers. They're there to make money. They aren't there to tell the truth. They're there to make money. And so they're obviously going to get vaccinated because they're not stupid. But if a person such as Tucker Carlson is going to promulgate a conspiracy theory, he will present it as a question. Is gasoline really made out of concentrated gerbil blood? I don't know. Whatever his conspiracy theory might be. Is Nancy Pelosi really a lizard person? And what'll always come after that is, do your own research. Have you looked into this? You need to do your own research on whatever stupid, idiotic thing I'm talking about. Here's the catch. If you then do research, you might research the question that conspiracy theorist is posing. If you go online and you Google the question, is Hillary Clinton a lizard person in disguise, you are gonna get videos and information about how Hillary Clinton is a lizard person in disguise, or whatever foolish thing is going on for that person's conspiracy theory. Instead of approaching it from that direction, obviously what needs to happen is you need to identify a trustworthy source and get your news and information from them. You would not go onto Craigslist to buy a car that is obviously being sold for 1/4 of its value without doing a lot of research, because there's a lot of scams online. You would look for a reputable seller of a car. I hope you would. It can be a scary thing to buy a car if you're not dealing with a reputable source. And the same thing with your news that you get. You need to get it from a reputable source, somebody who has a reputation to lose. And that's not some guy online with the latest conspiracy theory from a website that you may have never heard of before. Oh, that's some knockoff. Instead of CNN, it's CNM or something of that sort. But that is a common thing. The common phrase you often hear from a conspiracy theorist is, have you done your own research? You need to do your own research. And of course, if you research the question that they're posing, you're going to get the answer that they want you to get. We are not looking for the question they're posing. We're looking for actual information. And that we really can get from our government. I'm very proud of our government. I'm very proud of our country. I'm very proud of our flag. It goes up every morning. It comes down every night. It's not a household ornament. It's the American flag. So it goes up in the morning and it comes down at night. And then it goes back up in the morning again. It was up on 9/11 and it came down that night. And 9/11, 20 years ago. It was up because I put it up that morning. We can look at various politicians, and it's not hard to know which ones are fools and which ones are working for the public good. It is not hard. We are not talking about a departure from science. That's only a subset. We're talking about a departure from honesty. It's very Russian to say the end justifies the means. It makes no difference what lie or what horrible thing you are attempting to do. First, before you do it, blame your enemy of doing the exact same thing. But second, it doesn't matter what conspiracy theory you're coming up with or what lie you are advancing, as long as it advances your end, as long as it does what you want it to do, which again, confusion, division, and lack of trust in our own government.